Do women swear in English? Or rather, I should say, do women swear as much as men in English? Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm Julian Northbrook from doingenglish.com and welcome to another video. This week in my Extraordinary English Speakers group, my program that continues on after my MEFA course. MEFA teaches the method, the first 90 days, and then Extraordinary English Speakers helps you to implement that consistently over time. This week we are doing a 3-part lesson special called Foul Mouths, which was requested by one of our members and focuses on, as you can probably imagine, foul language and swearing. Not just teaching you what swear words mean, because hey, you don't need me to tell you what fuck means or how to use it, but rather digging deep into the social dynamics, the psychology of swearing. One of the points that comes up in the lesson, just one of them that I want to discuss a little bit here as well, is the question of whether women swear as much as men in English. Certainly, the stereotype is that they don't, and I'm sure many people would like to believe that they don't. But research shows that really today, this very much isn't the case. Women swear at pretty much the same rate as men. There was a research project, a fairly big one, conducted last year, 2018, and yeah, it found that women do swear just as much as men. There are a few important differences, however. The words they use are slightly different. The situations in which they swear are slightly different, and because of this, or rather I should say because of this, the situations are different. The level of risk that women face when swearing in public is also slightly different. Now, where does the idea that women don't swear come from? Well, there was a time when they didn't. And indeed, from the 1600s, swearing was pretty much pushed out, eliminated from the female lexicon, that is the female vocabulary, by important people in the church. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Those bigoted assholes who think they know best for other people. But at the time, the church was the almighty power, and certain important people, high up, powerful people within the organisation, decided that women should stay and always be pure of mind and body. Because much swearing is related to sex, it was thought that if women used swear words, well, it would make them promiscuous, and God forbid that a woman should want to have sex. So, again, over time, swearing was eliminated and women moved into a much subtler, more euphemistic style of speaking, until fairly recently, when in the 80s, really swearing by women made a big comeback, particularly in the United Kingdom. America is still a little bit behind us Brits as far as dirty words are concerned, but from around the 80s, swearing really started to make a complete comeback. It had been building up over time, of course, to the point where now it's pretty much 50-50. Now, I said that the words that men and women use are slightly different. Generally speaking, men will use very, very strong words like cunt a lot more than women, whereas women will stick to quite strong words like fuck and twat and shit and stuff like that for the most part, but also use softer words. Of course, the words that men and women use to describe each other are also quite different. If a man attacks a woman in a derogatory sense with his words, he will attack her in a way that highlights her sexual promiscuity, using words like slut, slag, whore. Whereas, of course, when a woman attacks a man in the same kind of way, well, being sexually promiscuous for most men is considered a positive, so it doesn't really work. So they will go the other way and use words that demasculize them. Words like pussy, Nancy, fag, for example. Of course, women also face far more risk when it comes to swearing than men. If a man swears, it's forgotten quickly. It's just what men do. Boys will be boys, as they say. And if a man calls his mate a twat and nobody laughs, well, it just disappears. Nobody really cares. If a woman swears, she faces being judged by other women much more harshly than men face by other men. And if a woman calls her friend a slag or something like that, jokingly, and nobody laughs, well, that can have serious social repercussions. So there's a higher level of risk involved, and female social styles is very, very different to male social styles, and you can see why. So you can see why that would be the case. I'm not a woman, so I'm not even going to pretend to understand how women behave and interact with each other, but you get it. And because of this, the situations that women will swear in is quite different. It's not to say that they won't swear, say, in the office or at work. They will, but it tends to be much more deliberate and with more intention behind it. So women will often swear in very typically male-dominated industries, for example, information technology, and they will use swear words and dirty language there as a way of proving themselves, making themselves one of the boys, showing that they can give as much as they take and that they are suited to that, again, male-dominated industry. They may also swear in, say, meetings, in which case it will be done for maximum effect with intention behind that. Men, on the other hand, will pretty much just swear all the time, really without thinking about it. Again, it can be used for effect and intention, but a lot of the time it's just because they're fucking dirty-mouthed arseholes. You get the idea. So, do women swear? Yes, they do. Are there differences between the way that men and women swear? Yes, perhaps those differences are becoming more subtle. I will also say that everything that I've just said here is based on the research that I've been reading quite a lot of late. This has been a topic that's been a particularly fascinating one for me recently, swearing in English. And so this is all generalization. Yes, you may be able to say, well, I'm not like that, or another woman isn't like that. I swear all the time just like men do, or I don't swear ever. Well, yes, then that's anecdotal and idiosyncratic. Here I am talking about the general state of affairs as highlighted by the research in the area of sociolinguistics and swearing in particular. Now, if you are interested in swearing, you can and should join us in Extraordinary English Speakers, doingenglish.com/EES for information. You do, however, have to have graduated from my MEFA course in order to be able to join that. EES now really is designed as a continuation after MEFA. You learn the method and the process and you get a massive boost in proficiency over the first 90 days, and then EES will help you to carry that out over time, keep on implementing consistently and relentlessly. If you've already completed MEFA, you're welcome to join. If, however, you're not eligible to join, there's not going to be an opening for MEFA for another month, but you want to get into this right away, well, I have a new book on this topic. It's not for everyone, it's only for those of you who can stomach swearing, dark humour, and the more gritty side of life. It is called, rather appropriately, English for Cunts, and I've named it this really to put people off, because I don't want people reading it and complaining later. It is based on a conversation between myself and my good friend and business mentor, Jonathan McCulloch, aka the Evil Bold Genius. And we swear a lot, we talk about swearing, why people do it, how to deal with people swearing, and how to deal with people who get offended. In fact, John gives you the perfect response to anybody who ever says, I'm offended by what you've just said, and it's not, I don't care, because that just gets you into silly arguments. We also talk about dark humour, some pretty appalling jokes, and using language for dramatic effect. John comes from a copywriting background. He is an advertising writer, and one of the things that he does really well is using words and language to have very specific effects on people, and that's what the interview is all about. You can get that book on Amazon Kindle by heading over to englishforcunts.com. You can read the first bit for free, and if you get the Kindle book, book, there's a URL at the very end of the book where you can go and download the audio version of the interview that the book is based on. Extraordinary English Speakers have the complete uncut interview in their membership. Basically, it's an interview that I did for EES, and then I cut out all the bits on a certain topic, and that's what became the book. Again, EnglishForCunts.com. So, this is me, Julian Northbrook, signing out from this video. This is a topic that I find absolutely fascinating. If you've got questions on swearing in English or topics related to this that you want me to talk about in a future video, ask down in the comments. I am always happy to answer them, especially on a topic that I am currently fucking fascinated with. See you in the next video.